On this episode of Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor, you're going to meet the godfather of networking in Black America, Mr. George Fraser. Mr. George Fraser taught me everything I know around networking and how to turn your contacts into contracts. It's time to get drastic. Let's do this. Tony Harris Taylor. Welcome to the Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show. Today, we're going to talk about the power of networking. My special guest, I call him Uncle George Fraser of the Power Networking Conference. More about that later. Mr. George Fraser is the godfather of networking in Black American business. He has won many awards for the conference, and he is passionate about helping us to be able to make more connections, deeper connections, build relationships that not only turn to dollars, but can change lives. What George taught me from the stage of the Power Networking Conference is that relationships are everything. And in fact, he walks his talk. Later in the segment, I will tell you the story of how George literally changed my life. Who do you have in your life that can change your life? Who are you surrounding yourself with? Are you going to conferences? Yes, it costs money. It's a major investment. But those conferences, when you play full out, can change the trajectory of your business. The power of networking, building relationships and connections that will change your life, change your business for not only now, but for generations to come. But you know what I'm going to say, the first key to success is to show up. So today you're going to meet Mr. George Fraser, and he's going to tell you the keys to success in networking. We will be right back with the Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show and Mr. George Fraser, the godfather of networking. We'll be right back.
If you are a business owner who needs more revenue but doesn't have the time or team to conduct sales activities, you need Unstoppable Sales Support. I'm Tish Time, CEO and founder of Unstoppable Sales Support. For over 10 years, I've helped teams to close more sales. Unstoppable Sales Support is your outsourced sales solution. Prospecting, follow-up, and we close sales. Done for you.
Did you know that 76% of warm referrals actually close? Are you getting all the referrals that you want? My name is Tony Harris Taylor, and I am the community builder with Network in Action Northeast Houston. I bring business owners together to help them to build relationships to bring each other more leads. If you're interested in getting more leads for your business, contact me at NIA Northeast Houston. Welcome back. We are here with Mr. George Fraser, the godfather of networking in Black America. Thank you so much, George, for saying yes to coming on the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Tony. It is an honor to be here. And I'm just so grateful for you and all the incredible work that you've done in our community. You have charted a good and righteous course, and you have stayed that course. I promise you all that is due you will come to you. So thanks for having me.
And you know what? You did promise me that. And the 2011 Power Networking Conference literally changed my life. And we'll talk about that in a little while. But I want to know, how did you become the godfather of networking, and how was the Power Network formed?
Um, it was a long slog. I mean, to be honest with you, because I'm from very humble beginnings, as you know. Um, uh, I'm from a family of 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. My father came to this country in the early 1900s from Guyana. Married a beautiful fair-skinned sister, Ida Mae Baldwin. They had 11 children, 8 boys and 3 girls. My mother became mentally ill when I was 2 and was institutionalized for the balance of her life. And my father, who was a cab driver, had to work 14 hours, 12 to 14 hours a day, couldn't take care of 11 children. So I was orphaned at 2, stayed in an orphanage from 2 to 5, and then put into foster care and aged out of foster care. And no one thought I was college material. So my, you know, I went to a vocational high school and got a diploma in carpentry and couldn't get a job in carpentry in Brooklyn, New York. And so my first job was mopping floors on the midnight shift at LaGuardia Airport, and where I met a lot of people and developed sort of interpersonal and people skills at a very young age, just sort of being kind and nice and thoughtful and empathetic, uh, you know, and enjoying the work that I was doing. I mean, it was the only thing I could get. I was lucky to have a job. And I tell people, if you go to LaGuardia Airport today and go down into the maintenance department, there's a plaque on the wall. It's me. I was the best floor mopper in the history of LaGuardia Airport. I'm proud of that. How you do anything is how you do everything. It's not how you start, it's how you finish, right? And so one thing led to another. I mean, I'm 76 years old, and because I developed the interpersonal and people skills, I had a very high emotional intelligence. Um, I have never had to look for a job. I've never had to look for business. Uh, Whenever you are excellent in whatever it is you do, and this is what I tell our brothers and sisters all the time, we cannot be mediocre. We have got to be excellent. And when you're excellent, you won't have to worry about competition. You won't have to get in anybody's line. People will get in line for you. And that is how, from one thing to the next thing to the next thing, it was always through a relationship, through someone who saw me doing the thing that I was doing it with excellence, doing it as though I enjoyed it, right? And they offered me an opportunity. I cultivated, nurtured, and built relationships wherever I was working. I never left on a bad note. And then over time, I'm 76 years old now. I'm an elder, right? I mean, I'm 3/4 of a century old. And I really, my life has been effective networking. It's been cultivating, nurturing, and building relationships at work, at home, and in the community. Because this is biblical. I didn't make this up. There's a beautiful passage in the Bible, Tony, from direct quote from Jesus Christ. And there are 800,000 words in the Bible, and only 1,200 words is direct quotes from Jesus Christ. It's John 5:30. And Jesus said, I of my own self can do nothing. Now, this was Jesus, the Son of God. He couldn't get it done on his own by himself in a vacuum. So I understood very early in life that wherever I'm going to do it through and with other people. And therefore, I need to concentrate on building the skills necessary to develop relationships that were productive, that were effective, that were not toxic. And it's a mindset. It's a mindset and good mentorship, and good modeling.
Well, you have been the launch pad for so many business owners. You've been able to help us to understand the power of building relationships. Your networking conference was the first national conference I had ever attended. And when I saw you and heard you speak about relationships, and I'm a relationship girl, you're the one that helped me get it. And now I own a networking group. And so when we come back, we're going to talk about the 3 mistakes in networking that you see business owners make and how they can fix them. We'll be right back after this message.
Are you looking to own a business? Why not own a financial consulting business? Start your new financial planning business with a reputable company established since 1969. We support your success with business coaching, a proven money making system, and an established ready made audience that will need your help. Contact Marlon Johnson. Call 248 910 2670.
Are you a busy business owner that feels invisible and you are not making the money you deserve? My name is Tony Harris Taylor with Drastic Results Coaching. I'm a leading marketing and sales coach who teaches service-based entrepreneurs how to magnetically attract their ideal clients to make more money now. If you are ready to get drastic results in your business, contact Tony at 713-387-9273. Remember, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. We're back. And in the first segment, George shared with us his background and how he came from humble beginnings, but he quickly realized that even Jesus couldn't do it alone, and you needed relationships. So, George, what are 3 mistakes you see entrepreneurs making when it comes to networking and building relationships?
I think one of the big mistakes that a lot of people make when networking is they do not make a good first impression. The people are not interested in your whole life story when you're in a big social meeting and there are lots of people. You really have to give them enough information about you to pique their interest so that they will want to know more about you later. So you really got about 15 to 18 seconds to make a good first impression. There are 5 elements in what I call an elevator pitch, right? There are 5 things that you have to have in that elevator pitch. About 70 words, again, about 17 seconds. Who you are, where you're from, and what you do. Those are the first 3. Who you are, where you're from, and what you do. The last 2 are the most important. And that is, how do you add real value? And then if you add real value, quantify it and prove it to me, right? So those are the 5 elements of a good elevator pitch and first impression. So let me give you my elevator pitch, right? Now it varies a little bit depending on where I am, but it goes something like this. Hi, I'm Dr. George C. Fraser from Cleveland, Ohio, by way of Brooklyn, New York. I'm the CEO and founder of FraserNet Incorporated. I write books and speak on economic development and building effective relationships. I help people turn acquaintances into friends and contacts into contracts. And over the last 40 years, I've helped over 5,000 people secure over $1.5 billion in new business. Good to meet you. That's, that is, that is 17 seconds long and 72 words, right? So now, if a person is not interested in what I'm doing or how I can add value to their life, I move on to the next person or have a short conversation. So a good first impression is extremely important. So remember what the formula is for that. The second big error that people make or mistake that they make is they don't understand that emotional intelligence, your EQ, will be more important than your IQ, right? Your emotional intelligence is your ability to manage the 5 most important emotions in your body, because we are emotional people, and they use the management of those emotions to cultivate, nurture, and to build relationships at work, at home, and in the community. So your EQ, as you get older and wiser, will be much more important than your IQ. People will learn that as they grow older and wiser. Let me just say that again. So emotional intelligence, your interpersonal and people skills, how you comport yourself, how you present yourself, right? Are you dressed for the part? Are you articulating for the part? Are you speaking for the part, right? And now it doesn't mean that you're acting. It just means that you have to learn certain things. You have to learn certain behaviors. Most behavior is learned, and you have to use that in building relationships. So that would be a second big mistake, is that people do not work on developing their emotional intelligence or their EQ. They work on their IQ, but not their EQ. The third and final big mistake, or I think the biggest mistake that people make, is they network to get something. Wrong. You network to give, and as you give, you get. You ain't giving, you ain't getting. If you have nothing, it's because you've given nothing. But you cannot take out of life that which you have not put into life, just as you cannot take out of the bank that which you have not put into the bank. So that's the biggest mistake that people make, right? You network to give. This is very, very important because this is biblical. Dr. Fraser didn't make this up. And the Bible tells us that it is better to give than to receive.
All
Understanding
right,
that
so I want to recap what you just said, because you just said a mouthful. Number one, you got to make a great first impression. You got to know who you are and your elevator pitch. Number two, you got to develop your EQ, your emotional quotient, so that you can build relationships with people. And number three, and I think I got this from you because it's what I preach all the time, is you have to give first before you receive. And I know I got that from you. So you see, you are the Godfather. You've taught even I what to do when it comes to networking. And guess what? And I don't know if you realize this, but now I teach my clients the same thing. So you are the Godfather. You've helped us to pass this down. It's going to be passed from generation to generation. So when we come back, we're going to talk about the Power Networking Conference, literally the launch pad for so many business owners. So we'll be right back with more George Fraser and the Power Networking Conference.
The most important thing that you have to share with your audience or your potential customer is your story. Other people have similar products, they may have similar services, but no one has your story. And when you share that story with clarity and confidence, that's going to lead to better connections, which leads to more conversions. My name is Star Babatune, and I help small business owners tell their stories for more connection and more conversion.
Welcome back. Now we're going to tell you about the conference that literally changed my life, the Power Networking Conference. So George, when did you start the Power Networking Conference?
2002 in Cleveland, Ohio. So we stayed in Cleveland for 3 years, and then we moved it to Atlanta for 5 years, and then we moved it to Dallas for 3 years, and then we moved it to Prince George's County for 3 years, and now we're in Houston.
Wonderful. And I can't wait till this pandemic is over so you can get back to Houston. So the Power Networking Conference, what is the premise of the conference and why should somebody consider coming?
It's a place where brothers and sisters come. About 1,500 people attend every year. Since prior to the pandemic. When the pandemic is over, we'll be back live. Right now, we have a virtual conference, but people should come because it's a place where you make new connections and you find new business resources. That's the bottom line. No question about that. You make new friends, you get new feelings, you leave your fears, you leave your frustrations, you leave your old worn out paths behind. It's a place where you can come and help make your life a masterpiece. And we bring masters, right? The best and the brightest subject matter experts, people of color, in almost every business that you can get involved in. There are people there who can help you grow your business, give you the connections that you need, help you build the networks of customers that you need. That's really what we're focused on. We're focused on business development, and we're focused on wealth management. Now, we do one other subject matter, and that's wellness. That's psychological wellness and physical wellness, because we're still deeply wounded people, and there's a lot of work that we have to do on our inner self. So there's work with that, both physical and psychological, but most importantly, our goal and our target is building wealth, managing that wealth, building your businesses, and growing your businesses, right? So there are over 1,500 people that attend. There are over 50 speakers and subject matter experts. There are over 40 workshops that you can attend after the talks. There's interactive exhibit booths, even virtually, we have exhibit booths. So it is one amazing experience. There's nothing like it. Forbes named the Power Networking Conference as one of the top 5 conferences in America, not to be missed. Not one of the top 5 Black conferences, although that would still be an honor, but one of the top 5 of all the conferences put on in this country. So this is our 20th anniversary year. And because of COVID, we have to do it virtually. And it's going to be August the 11th through the 14th virtually. And I want to invite everybody that's listening to make sure that they go to powernetworkingconference.com, and find out on how they can register virtually for the virtual conference, and even consider coming to the live conference next year, which is going to be back in Houston in August.
Yay, and I cannot wait. But let me tell you all the story, how this conference changed my life. First thing is, the first time I went was 2011, and Mr. Fraser has something called Brain Share, where he auctions off the most brilliant minds in Black America. Unfortunately, the person that I won, invested in, she wasn't able to fulfill her obligation right away. And so that was the best thing that could have happened, because I was able to build a relationship with George. And one day we're on the phone talking, and I say, so what do I need to do to be a speaker on your conference? And he said, well, what you going to talk about? And I told him, and the rest, as they say, is history. And he gave me my first national speaking break. And not only that, but I did not want to go to that conference without having my book done. And I had a lot of drama around getting my book done. But because of Mr. Fraser giving me the opportunity, within 30 days of the conference, I got my book done. And then to top it off, he came to Houston to be my guest speaker at my book launch. It all started from me showing up to the Power Networking Conference, being willing to invest in myself, and being able to build a relationship with Mr. Fraser. That was 10 years ago. So thank you, sir, because the things I learned from you, I'm teaching my clients today, and it's changing lives. So one more time, we have 40 seconds. Please give them the details to register for Power Networking Conference.
Go to www.powernetworkingconference.com, and all the information, everybody who is at the conference is going to be on that website. All the workshops is going to be on that website. Everything you need to know is on that website, www.powernetworkingconference.com. The virtual conference is coming up August the 11th through the 14th, and you can get your ticket right on that site.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. Fraser, for Uncle George, that's what I call him, Uncle George, for giving us the opportunity to learn more about you and Power Networking. Your legacy will live on forever. When we come back, we'll do a quick wrap up, and we will share Power Networking information. We'll be right back.
As a small business owner, you know how difficult it is to handle legal issues on your own. And at hundreds of dollars an hour, hiring a law firm is oftentimes not an option. LegalShield small business legal plans help you resolve business legal matters more efficiently and affordably. For a small monthly fee, you will have direct access to a dedicated provider law firm. Whether you have 2 employees or 200, or run your business from your home, we provide customizable coverage options to meet the unique needs of your business. You will receive legal advice and research on business legal matters, phone consultations, document and contract review, as well as collection letter assistance. We also provide options for IRS audit protection and interstate services for out-of-state matters. LegalShield has small business plans available in 3 packages: Essentials, Plus, or Pro, as well as supplemental plan options. Plans start at just $49 a month. Receive the right level of legal assistance, tailored to the unique needs of your business so that you can focus on what you do best: running your business.
Welcome back. That was an amazing interview. Mr. George Fraser, the godfather of networking in Black America. He has touched, moved, and inspired so many people to their greatness, myself included. I really want to encourage you all to take a look at the Power Networking Conference. It was life-changing for me. Now, I will tell you, it's an investment, so it's not cheap, it's not free. But if you play full out and do what I tell you when it comes to building relationships, it'll be worth every penny. Knowing Mr. Fraser has taken my business to a whole nother level. I could never own a networking organization if I had not sat at the feet of Mr. George Fraser. So I'm excited. You should be too. Check out PowerNetworkingConference.com. Also, I'd like to give a shout out to my girl, Nikki Smith with 365 NNC. She remixes the wardrobe so that you don't have to spend a lot of money, and she puts me together for every show, and I truly appreciate Nikki. She also is a set designer, so make sure you call her if you want to get your set done. I also want to throw out a shout out to my friend and sponsor, Marlon Johnson. Marlon is an excellent financial advisor, and he is always taking people and bringing them into the financial services world and changing their lives. In fact, I referred someone to him, and she became their #1 life insurance salesperson in the country. So go to meetwithmarlon.com and schedule a time to meet with him. I want to remind you to share and subscribe to YouTube and stay connected to the Drastic Results with Tony Harris Taylor show. This is Tony Harris Taylor saying, take a drastic step today for a fantastic tomorrow. Bye.